Hey, happy Earth Day, April 24th. Um, let me do this. Digital meters. I have digital meters for electricity. I have digital meters for lots of things. And I've suddenly remembered why I really like analog a lot. And I used to have a very nice analog meter for electricity at work, Simpson 260, for those in the know. Times I miss it. But what I really found out today, the hard way, when I test for chlorine in our septic system, I use a combination of HACH, I don't know how they say it, test strips, along with an X-Tech digital meter. And the reason I use an analog solution with the digital solution is, while it may lack precision, the test strips are really high on accuracy. They're repeatable, they're reliable, the batteries don't die. So if I get numbers that are off in left field, I'm going to say that the test strip is probably in the right ballpark and there's something wrong with my meter. And it just gives me confidence. Most electronics techs in the Coast Guard are familiar with metrology, and that is, how do I trust when I only have one thing? I use a test strip to trust my digital meters. Okay, all that said and done, I have two digital pH meters. I have an X-Tech 110 that you see on the upper side of there, and I have a pH 220. Why do I have two? Well, one lends itself to me tossing the probe into the tank on my sprayer. And the other one is a little bit more convenient to just use on a countertop, where I use a little balancing cup you can buy from them. It's a little weighted cup, and you just prop it in there and you read it. Great. Well, annually, I use calibration solutions and I do a 3-point calibration on both meters to make sure they're good. And then I put them both into the same solution I calibrated on and make sure simultaneously they read the same thing. Cool. Well, today I went out and I put both meters up against the water in my spray tank and I got different numbers. And it just flipped out. I mean, I had literally within a half hour just calibrated them. And I put them into the same solution and I get different numbers. And I don't have narrow range pH paper that has enough precision to let me see what I was seeing on my meters. It'd be really easy for my eyes to fool me. I have that good old 0 to 14 stuff. I'm going to throw it away because it's really useless to me. So I just went online and I ordered some hack, whatever, narrow range pH paper from 4 to 9, that kind of box, and it'll give me a middle of scale reading on it. What I'm saying really is, before you buy a second digital anything, buy an analog, be it test strips or something with a meter, because you're going to have greater confidence. You're going to have two different methods of measuring the same thing, different methods. And when they agree, you'll have confidence. And when one is off, you can look back at that old school analog one and go, uh-huh, and check. The other thing is, I strongly recommend, if you use a pH meter or the like, invest in the calibration solutions. And they come in little disposable packages. I use Hanna and Milwaukee brands. This is a Hanna brand for pH 7.01, and I have a total dissolved solids meter, which also does conductivity, but these are from Milwaukee. Um, they're very affordable for the level of confidence that they give you, and the sparing you the need for therapy. You just walk away. You put them in there. You check it. I have a TDS meter. It flunked. Okay, and that just spared me a lot of trouble. Is periodically checking it against a benchmark. You need a benchmark. This is it. Even if you buy a disposable pH meter, I don't say disposable, a low-cost pocket one, you want to use storage solution. They're supposed to come with a little sponge in the cap that you can soak with the storage solution to keep you from getting a dry bulb. If you don't have one, make one. Cut a little piece of sponge, push it in there, wet it thoroughly with storage solution. Keep your pH probes wet, or they will fail you sooner than they should have, could have. Anyway, so the takeaway today is before you invest in a second digital product, uh, especially for doing water quality tests, I'm going to stand up and say get test strips. They're going to give you greater peace of mind, and they're cheap. I mean, a bottle of these things from Amazon, it's costing me like $12 for 50 strips. So when you buy that second meter, order some test strips while you're at it. I'm losing a day. I'm irritated, and I want to spare. My point is to spare you the trouble. The other thing I'll say too is that when you're investing in a meter, and if you're going, you're going to be doing this for quite a while, do yourself a favor and get a meter that you can just you can calibrate it. It has automatic calibration. You want a 3-point cal, high, low, middle, and also get one you can just replace the module on. Modules aren't cheap. However, modulars are good. Like in this case, well, this is the 110. And that's nice. What I had was a chlorine probe, an X-Tech, they have a name for it, but it auto-recognized it. So when I took the chlorine tip off and put the pH probe on it, I go, oh, I'm a pH probe now. So that's kind of handy if my chlorine probe ever gives me a hard time. I can swap them, and I keep a spare chlorine tip around. We're required to by law for the house, for our sewage system. So I hope you're a little bit more informed. If you're investing in a good pH meter, invest in some strips. Um, Later on, I'll do another video on the strips I got. I don't have them on screen, but they're from Hack. Ah, there we go. Specifically, I bought HACH is the name of the company. Numbers 274565. Can I do that? Hey, looky. That's the part number for the strips, and they read between 4 and 9. That's no good for beer. That's no good for wine. That's really good for spray water, you know? And my case, I can't let the pH get too low, too acidic, because I'm using copper. What's the point? Why was I doing all this? You spray copper, if the solution gets too acid, you have phytotoxicity. You'll burn your leaves because the copper becomes too reactive. The copper is usually in a buffering solution so that it just works slowly. You'll undo all that good chemistry you paid for if you put it in acidic water. So while I'm trying to soften my water, I have to watch the pH. I can't let it get too low. I'll run into problems. So that's why I'm going through all this effort. Um, I'll do more on that because this is all part of my graduate project. And I'll share what I'm learning with you because all this makes difference. This isn't just highfalutin science. This is practical stuff that you can use if you're spraying a bunch of trees and you want to get your money's worth out of your spray solutions and not hurt your trees. So that's all I got. Happy Earth Day. See, right now I'm looking for how to stop this. Happy Earth Day, and test strips. Just use them. Confirm your digital stuff. Take care. Bye bye.